Hey, and her mum said to him, how's she going? And he said, yeah. And then obviously they tried to speak discreetly next to me, but it was something along the lines of, she pulled up, saw this today, and we tried to see if she was all right, but we just made a decision to sit her out.
What nobody expected was that the seemingly routine injury update would spark a much larger conversation around the Indiana Fever and their handling of the biggest star in women's basketball. The story was never just about one missed game. It was about perception. It was about frustration. And it was about the growing feeling among fans that every time Caitlin Clark isn't on the floor, something important is being taken away from the people who invested their time, money, and passion into watching her play. Across the WNBA, few players generate the level of anticipation that Clark does. Fans travel across state lines. Families plan entire weekends around seeing her live. Young athletes fill arenas wearing her jersey, hoping to witness one of those unforgettable moments that have become her trademark. That is why every decision involving her availability immediately becomes breaking news. Whether fair or unfair, the spotlight follows her everywhere. And the Fever organization is now learning what comes with managing a player whose influence extends far beyond the basketball court.
Here we go again. Kelly Krauskopf, Amber Cox move right here. Doing a last minute update. Caitlin Clark is not playing tonight. And I gotta count my blessings that I was able to watch Caitlin Clark. I was able to get signatures, the whole everything with her. At least I got the Caitlin Clark experience twice this year. I feel bad for the fans that travel so far to go see her play and they won't be able to see her tonight. And they pull the carpet underneath all those fans. This is wrong, guys. This is wrong.
What made the situation even more controversial was the contrast between protecting a player and maximizing a player's impact. Nobody questions the importance of health. Nobody questions the need for caution after injuries. But in professional sports, especially when discussing a competitor like Caitlin Clark, there's always a delicate balance between preservation and momentum. Great point guards thrive on rhythm. They thrive on timing. They thrive on the ability to stay connected to every possession and every adjustment unfolding on the floor. Throughout the season, fans watched closely whenever Clark's minutes were limited, wondering whether the organization was truly helping her long-term performance or unintentionally disrupting the flow that made her one of the most exciting players in basketball. That debate has become one of the biggest storylines surrounding the Fever, and it continues to generate intense discussion across sports media, social platforms, and WNBA communities nationwide.
Caitlin, she is not going to be benched if she's not injured or she's not going to do any damage to herself. Like, she is a true competitor to her core. Seriously, this is Caitlin not playing. This is her wishing she was on the floor. This is her going, God, get me out there. She said recently, like, being on the bench, yes, she wants to be one of the best teammates she can in terms of being supportive, but God knows she does not want to be benched. She wants to be playing ball. She loves it more than any.
The attendance story reveals just how massive Caitlin Clark's league impact has become. Across the WNBA, her presence has transformed ordinary regular season games into major events. Whenever her name appears on a schedule, ticket demand rises, television audiences increase, social media engagement explodes. Fans who may not follow basketball every night suddenly become interested because they know there's always a possibility of witnessing something special. That kind of influence cannot be manufactured. It cannot be replicated through marketing campaigns alone. It comes from years of building a connection with audiences and delivering unforgettable performances under pressure. When uncertainty surrounds whether Clark will play, the reaction is immediate because people are not simply buying tickets to watch a game. They are investing in an experience. They are hoping to witness one of the most influential athletes in modern sports perform at the highest level. That reality has changed the economic landscape surrounding the Fever and has elevated every discussion involving her availability into a league-wide conversation.
Indiana Fever took on the Portland Fire, and there were about 35 people in attendance. Damn! Fans, if any fans were outside ready to show up, they turned their car around. If somebody was in the parking garage getting ready to pay the parking attendant, as they're handing over the cash, they're looking at their phone. Oh, Caitlin Clark's not playing. Hey, I'll take my cash back. Yeah, I'm not.
As the season continued, another question began gaining momentum among fans and analysts alike. Was the Fever maximizing the opportunity sitting right in front of them? Generational athletes do not come along often. Throughout sports history, organizations have spent decades searching for players capable of changing the trajectory of an entire franchise. When those players arrive, expectations immediately rise. Every decision becomes magnified. Every coaching adjustment becomes a headline. Every roster move is examined under a microscope. Caitlin Clark's arrival brought unprecedented attention to Indiana and unprecedented visibility to the WNBA as a whole. That reality has created enormous pressure on everyone involved. The challenge is no longer simply winning basketball games. The challenge is building an environment capable of helping a transformational talent reach her highest possible ceiling while continuing to elevate the league around her. That responsibility is enormous, and the basketball world is watching closely to see how Indiana responds moving forward.
Needs to let the Indiana Fever know I will walk. I will walk. Y'all get y'all stuff together. Stop putting your damn hands on me. Stop touching me. Stephanie White, get the hell out of my way on offense, or else I can take my talents elsewhere. I can go elsewhere. I can sell tickets out elsewhere. My fans already are starting to show up less and less because they don't trust y'all dealing with me.
Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this entire controversy is that it extends beyond wins and losses. This is a story about expectations, influence, and the future direction of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark has become one of the defining faces of the modern WNBA era. Her games generate discussion before tip-off, during competition, and long after the final buzzer sounds. Every performance becomes part of a larger conversation about the growth of the league and where it is headed next. That is why moments involving her family, her health, her role, and her utilization generate so much attention. People understand they are watching a player whose career could help shape the next decade of professional women's basketball. The stakes feel larger because the impact is larger. Every decision carries consequences, and every storyline surrounding Clark quickly evolves into a league-wide debate.
Listen, I think Caitlin Clark should hold off on re-signing with the Indiana Fever. If she's going to re-sign, you hold off to the very last minute. You hold their damn feet to the fire until they do right by you. Hold their damn feet to the fire and you make them do right.
Now the pressure shifts squarely onto the Indiana Fever organization. Fans want answers. Analysts want results. Supporters want to see the team unlock its full potential. The expectations are higher than ever because the talent is undeniable. The Fever possess one of the most marketable athletes in all of sports and one of the most dynamic playmakers the WNBA has ever seen. The question is no longer whether Caitlin Clark can continue drawing attention to the league. She has already proven that. The question is whether Indiana can create the conditions necessary for sustained success around her. Every game from this point forward will be analyzed through that lens. Every coaching decision will be scrutinized. Every performance will fuel another round of discussion. And that is exactly why this story continues to dominate headlines. The spotlight isn't getting smaller. It's getting bigger. As the season progresses, the conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, and the future of the WNBA is only becoming more intense. Fans remain deeply invested because they recognize what is at stake. They see a player capable of elevating franchises, driving attendance records, increasing television ratings, and inspiring an entirely new generation of basketball fans. They also understand that opportunities like this do not come around often. History has shown that organizations are ultimately judged by how they handle transformative talent. Some rise to the occasion and build dynasties. Others spend years wondering what could have been. That uncertainty is what keeps fans engaged. That uncertainty is what fuels the debate. And that uncertainty is exactly why this story has become one of the most talked about topics in sports today. And that brings us to the question nobody can answer yet. What happens next? Will the Indiana Fever successfully build around the biggest star the franchise has ever seen? Will the organization find a balance between protecting its future and maximizing its present? Or will this season become remembered as a turning point in a controversy that reshaped the conversation around the WNBA forever? One thing is certain, the spotlight surrounding Caitlin Clark isn't fading. If anything, it's growing stronger with every game, every headline, and every debate. The basketball world is watching. The fans are watching. The league is watching. And what happens next could have a lasting impact on the future of women's basketball itself.